Around the year 2000, there was a young boy named Jered. He was born in a small town in Oregon, into a middle-class family where life was moving on, but there was no real luxury. His parents gave him a decent upbringing, but life was just as hard for them as it was going to be for Jered. Jered was an average student in school. His parents wanted him to live a safe and stable life, maybe get a corporate job, or possibly build a career in the military. But Jered always felt that he wanted to become something else, something different, something big. At 17, he decided to join the military on his parents' suggestion. He enlisted in the U.S. Marines and thus began the first real test of his life. Military life wasn't easy. He was stationed in countries like Chile and Afghanistan. Bullets, bombs, discipline, and extreme stress, all of it he witnessed in the early days of his youth. But during his time in the military, he learned the true meaning of discipline, leadership, and risk-taking. Then by 2004, when he turned 22, he realized that his dreams were far bigger than this uniform. That's when he decided to leave the military and took an honorable discharge. He left with dignity. When he came back, there was only one thing on his mind. He wanted to do something different with his life. But nothing came easy. Civilian life felt strange. There was no clear plan, no stable job. Each day was full of confusion and pressure. He lived in a shared apartment with his friend. Life felt boring. No job was working out, no direction ahead. Depression took hold of him. Then in 2009, Jered heard about Bitcoin for the first time. The idea of digital currency was new back then, and most people thought it was a joke. But Jered didn't take it lightly. He read Bitcoin's white paper, spent hours on forums, and slowly started to understand the concept. At that time, he didn't have much money, but with small freelance gigs and part-time work, whatever little he made, he invested a portion of it into Bitcoin, back when it used to cost just a few cents. He kept struggling with himself. Whenever he had some extra money, he would skip meals and buy Bitcoin instead. Once, he accidentally deleted 800 Bitcoins from his laptop. Back then, he thought, it's just a small loss. But today, those Bitcoins would be worth crores. By the end of 2010, Jered had deeply understood the Bitcoin ecosystem and had started earning well. Back then, Bitcoin wallets and trading platforms were very basic, not user-friendly, and people found it hard to trust them. Jered realized that if there were a secure and reliable exchange, more people would get interested. So he teamed up with some friends and made a plan to create a platform that was US-based, fast, and made Bitcoin buying and selling easier. In 2011, Jered launched TradeHill, the first major Bitcoin exchange in the US. The platform grew rapidly, and people started trusting it to buy and sell Bitcoin. But TradeHill's payment processor, Dwolla, suddenly pulled out its support due to compliance issues. Let me tell you, Dwolla is a US-based online payment platform used for bank-to-bank ACH transfers. It's similar to systems like PayPal or Stripe. Anyway, because of this, TradeHill lost banking access and users couldn't handle their funds. Stuck between legal pressure and financial deadlock, Jered had to shut down his exchange. But he didn't give up. Even after TradeHill shut down, Jered didn't walk away from crypto. He began growing his money again through trading and early investments. Between 2013 and 2016, he had collected a substantial amount of Bitcoin, which had now reached a value in the millions. But in 2016, one day, hackers got into his phone, email, and wallets. Money worth years was gone within hours. But even then, Jered didn't think of giving up. He thought of making a comeback. After the hack, Jered's financial situation took a hit, but luckily, he still had Bitcoin in offline wallets, which remained safe. He used those to rebuild his base. Slowly, through trading and consulting, he started collecting money again. When some stability returned, he rented an old building in San Francisco and converted it into a co-living and creative space. He named it 20 Mission. But this time, life in the US wasn't as difficult as before, because now Jered had become an expert in crypto. Within no time, he re-established himself. But he didn't just stop at crypto. He went to Colombia. There, he started a brewery making craft beer. He named it 20 Mission Cerveza, and it's still running today. He earned money through crypto, but he learned to build a life after crypto. Jered says, money isn't everything in life. When you fall to learn. Time can take away everything, but if courage lives inside you, then victory can be yours again. Jered's story teaches us that life isn't just about winning. The real thing is rising after you fall. He learned something from every loss, turned every defeat into a new turn. Crypto gave him money, but struggles made him human. Today, he's standing at his destination only because he never learned how to stop. So if you too feel stuck in life, or it feels like everything is broken, just remember, a comeback is always possible. All it takes is believing in yourself just once.